Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Got to give a shout out to everybody on Facebook and check me out on YouTube, and people that's in Britain, Mexico, US of A, Virginia, Cyprus, Texas, Mexico, so many other different places that tunes in, man. We really appreciate your listenership. Don't forget the book, Consequence by Vince Cole Muhammad. Don't forget to go to cdbaby.com/COLBLAC. Download one of the many hits to show your support. Therefore, we can continue giving you out of bounds topics, out of bounds theories, out of bounds solutions, and out of bounds concept of life. The debate. The tennis court. And black people are the tennis ball. Donald Trump supports stop and frisk. Hillary Clinton said it was racial profiling. The truth lies in the middle. Stop and frisk reduced the murder rate in New York by 1,700. Meaning that was 1,700 more people who gets to go home to their families that's still alive, who has a chance to get it right the next day, who has a chance to figure a solution to their problems, to solve the problems, so therefore they can have a better life for themselves and for their families. Hillary Clinton said stop and frisk was racial profiling. And she was right too. Because what stop and frisk underlying hidden meaning was, I will stop, frisk, and harass black people to where they would never feel at home in America. They would never feel as though this is their homeland, because I will stop you and ask who you are, what's your right for being here. And if it's a group of you all, I will break it up, because you never can be settled. You can't plant your feet on this ground and get comfortable. I have to constantly harass you, black man and black woman, so you don't ever feel uppity, or so you don't ever feel like you belong, because the code word for America is white. We understand that black people have to be the ball on a tennis court that goes out of bounds. I mean, do something so drastic in a sense. Start wearing turbans. Bring your afros back. Go bald head. Go back and say, you know what? I'm part of the horrid priesthood. I go back to the order of Melchizedek. I'm a Moor. I don't want Constantine's Christianity. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Garveyite. I'm a Buddhist. I practice ancient Indus Valley theology. I'm a god, which we are. I communicate with people on Nibiru. My cousins are Martians. I mean, because the reason why I say that is, they passing us around, or they knocking us across the tennis court, and we're the tennis ball. on one side, one on the other side, and they playing keep away. They're playing confuse the black man. They're playing a game of, hey, I got your best interests at heart. Look at your schools. Look at your neighborhoods. Look at where you stay. Look at your economic situation. Look at your marriage, your relationship situation. I have the answer to the black problem. Then the other side, then Hillary Clinton's side, she comes out. We have to stop being racist against the blacks. They can't do it by themselves. They need our help. They're docile. I mean, they feeble mind. They can't think their way out of a paper bag. They need our subsidies. They need our programs. They need us to come with a solution to help them out because they can't think for themselves. Then the other side will come and say, hey, no, you in America, you have the same opportunity as everybody else. You either sink or swim. So what? Create your own job. Why should you ask us for anything? Don't give them welfare. Hey, my parents came over here as immigrants to this country, and look, we've made it. We've survived. My father had to work 2 jobs. But then they leave out the fact that when slavery ended, that was it. No assimilation into what they call United States of America. There was no debriefing. Okay, look, you're going to need to learn this skill. Oh, by the way, I didn't allow you to read or write for hundreds of years, but you still free and, hey, let me pat you on your back and you make it out the best way you can. Get on out there and let's see what you can do. But and the only thing you're going to be allowed to carry on your persons when you leave, the only tool you will be allowed to have is some bread and a bandana wrapped around a stick and go out there and conquer the world. Even though I had you in captivity, had you in bondage for over 400 years, today's the day you free. Get out there and make it happen. I mean, it's ludicrous. But the mind who believes that they can achieve with that limited amount of knowledge, with the fact that blacks wasn't allowed to read or write, the fact that racial discrimination and the deep hatred that was for blacks in America, they're trying to say that didn't play a factor in what's going on today in today's time. And now, as I stated yesterday, Miss Sammy Wiley in Sunnyside, Houston, Texas, going through a point where when she came in 1949, when they moved to Sunnyside, it was the country. It was farming, agriculture. It was neighbors talking to neighbor. It was, we okay. This is our area of town. In some parts of Houston and Fourth Ward, the slaves, ex-slaves, built roads. Was at peace. Was thriving. But you got that hatred that looks over at their land and say, and it's the same pattern. It's the same exact pattern. But they look over at their land and say, they got that fixed up real nice over there. It's structured nice. They got a system. Everything is moving in rhythm. How can we take that from them? Or how can we get in? See, because sometimes you have to put this in perspective. A lot of times the initial, some, not all, but some white men, their initial mindset was, well, can we move in and be a part of what you all are doing, because we see the success in it and we want to share in your success, and we will do our part. And so they look at them, black people, and say, okay, well, yeah, well, if you can do so-and-so, so-and-so, I don't have a problem with it because I'm not racist. I don't see you as a white person. I see you as a potential person that can help develop the structure of what we've built and enhance it together based on mathematics and science. But the problem was, as soon as they moved in, by them having that aggressive and that divide and conquer nature, before you know it, they want to be the leader. They want to take it over. And you say, well, no, your way wouldn't work because I built this structure and I know the foundation. But since they didn't have any respect for black people, and what they interpret that was is, oh, nigga, you don't know what the hell you talking about. I'm a white man and I can do this better than you. Since the blacks at nature didn't want to physically fight to prove their point, they stood down and said, okay, we'll let you take the lead. Then when they muffled it and destroyed it, and the piece was extracted from the original, then they had to find a scapegoat because they had to keep their honor or their name intact. The burden of failure couldn't be placed upon them. So what they said was, well, you see old Joe over there? Joe over there was working against you all the time. I can't work with Joe. He destroyed this whole thing. They pack up their bags and they gone. Because that way they can feel good about their exit strategy. Even though it's all based on falsehood, but hey. Hey. So what happened was, Sunnyside became the city. And they brought the city. See, the city mindset was really never our mindset. The city mindset was their mindset. Really, basically coming to this country, and we knew agriculture, we knew land, we knew how to produce on land and farming. We had a country mindset meaning you are in tune and you are at one with nature. You understand nature because nature provides for you the necessities of life. Everything comes up out of the ground. As the brother Minister Farrakhan said, everything comes from the ground that we produce to manufacture or make goods from. We understood that. We understood how to work with metals. We understood how to build. That was no problem. But the problem we had was we wanted to understand this white man that was on our planet that we had no interaction with prior to, let's go back and forth, 6,500 years ago. No interaction with him at all. So we wanted to understand who is this man on our planet. What's your ideology? For those who didn't take on the teachings and the knowledge of the Tamahu, or let's say Yaku, who didn't know that history, they just saw this man in the state that they met him in at that particular time. They saw that state and they wanted to know, who is this? What's your culture? What's your ideology? How do you think? What's your language? How do you build? Because traveling to Europe before the Moors built Europe, are you living in holes on inside of hills? Are you living that way because you want to be part of nature? Not the fact that they didn't understand. No, he just never built anything up until that point out of wood and stone or metal. It was straight nature, hole in the side where the kings used to live, till the Moors was like, build you a palace. You a king. We didn't understand his methodology. We wanted to learn this new people because we had experienced everything on the planet. So the white man was a new experience. He was something. Well, let's learn because it's something to do, but it's basically like I said, it's basically a new experience. We wanted to learn this new experience. We wanted to bring the new experience in. We wanted to sit and talk. But first we had to create a language to where we could communicate with each other. A communicating system because we wasn't all speaking the same language. So now we create a communicating system. And we dealing with this man. And we start noticing, well, where did your mindset come from? Because all the tribes and all the people over here do this and that. What makes you do things this way? Where did the divide and conquer mindset come from? Where did the mindset, because there's always been indigenous servants or slavery on the planet, but where did the mindset come to where you could tie a person to two horses and run the horses in opposite directions and split the person in two? Where did that come from? You know, where the mind that came from gunpowder and using it as a weapon to kill. And back in those days, that would be considered mass destruction. You know, but now in 2016, if this presidential election process don't wake black people up and show black people what it's really all about, then you're going to have a certain percentage of the black population will be compared to some black populations in Africa who didn't want to leave the jungle. They wanted to stay in the jungle while some wanted to leave and advance into the what they call city parts. Or let me put it another way. If you don't wake up and understand the game, you will be a victim by yourself in a small percentage by y'all lonesome, and to get out into, and each moment that you spend in that situation will be, you'll find yourself, or you will find it more difficult to get out from under the game the longer you wait. That's why you have people speaking, trying to wake people up to show that you are the tennis ball on the tennis court, and they and both sides and both players, no matter who wins, both players win. Doesn't matter. If Donald Trump wins, Hillary wins. Hillary wins, Donald Trump wins. Doesn't matter. They both gonna win because both of them, their families will be taken care of at the end of the day. Both of their families will be taken care of regardless. And their friends. And when I say families, I'm talking about cousins and uncles, aunties, and whatnot. All of them going to be okay. They have money. They're at the top. Now, the poor whites, if you're a poor white, you are a buffer. You are the troops for the establishment. What they'll do is, look, all of this is predicated on black people. We have to keep black people on the court. When they get out of bounds, we got to hurry up and put them out of court, because what happens when you're out of bounds? you closer. You out the game, that means you closer to the exit. Throwing back on the table, hurry up, getting back in the game so we can keep knocking them around. You know, black people, you need to stop and frisk. Black people stop and frisk is unconstitutional. And you're gonna have some black people who say, well, damn, if 2,200 murders was in New York, stop and frisk stopped 1,700 of them, to where it was only down, it went from 2,200 to 500. Hey, that's a good thing. On the other side, stop and frisk is unconstitutional. Mentally, you didn't feel a part of America. So one side always got to come physical. One side is going to come at you mentally, and then they going to pull at you like when they put them horses and ran you in separate directions. One's going to take you to the left. One's going to, the individual. You're going to be pulled physically. The Republicans going to pull you physically. The Democrats are going to pull you mentally. Then after a while, they'll switch to where the Democrats are going to pull at you mentally, and the Republicans are going to pull at you physically. Hey, black folks are physically dying in the streets by police brutality. Mentally, hey, police is law and order, and there are good police officers, but there are some bad police officers, and we're going to work to seek out the bad police officers. And so, and when we do that, black people, you're gonna feel good. Give you a personal example. Had a mechanic, white guy. He told me, hey, I work on your vehicle, but let me do it after the shop closes. And that way I can really work on your vehicle, get it back right to how you need it, because it was a car that it was one of my toys, a car that I just wanted to fix just to have fixed, Jaguar. It was a 84 Jag XJ12. Had got it painted, and what I wanted to do is get the engine and, fix it up, and it was going to be a classic. And the guy was like, yeah, I can work on it, and, after hours, I'll get you right, we'll have it. It's going to be perfect, right? So I said, that's fine, how much? Told me the price, I told him that's fine. Working on the vehicle. Such and such happened, I'm going to need a little more money. Okay, no problem. Come back with it, but I kept noticing, he kept telling me, man, you good people, black people, you all are, I love black people. At the same time, he's screwing me on my vehicle. So then he says, okay, yeah, you ready to go. Crank the car up. Couldn't get down the block. Take the car back to him. Now, mind you, I'm catching on to the game now. I'm like, wait a minute. This dude really trying to swindle me out of my money. But what he didn't know is that I set aside a certain amount that I wasn't going to go past, and I understood how much the job would cost. So, okay, that's fine. Takes the car back and brings the car back to me. Still wasn't running right. But he's smiling, and he kept saying kind things and black, because he hustling me though. Because in their mindset, see what he thought was, who lied to him and told him, look, in order to get over black people, he thought that if you are white, always give them a kind word. Make them feel wanted. They want that, they want that more than money. They want to be liked by white people more than they want money. So always give them a smile. Tell them you love them. Tell them you care. Ask about their family and their children. Tell them, are you the best thing, that ever happened? And, when I was younger, get that story. When I was younger, my nanny was black and she took care of us, and well, really what they saying is, man, when we got some of that strong black vitamin milk out of them black breasts, I mean, we felt like we were supermen. That's what they saying. But anyway, back to the topic. So he dropped the car off. Said, well, yeah, I got it. He got the car running to where he could bring the car to me, right? He drove off, went back home. In my mind, I knew it wasn't fixed right because he hustling me. He never really intended on fixing the vehicle, but he's playing a game that he was taught. Somebody had to teach him. He wasn't born learning that game of false hope. Just give him false hope. Tell them it's all right. They'll continue to pay you, but they so loyal. As long as you smile at them and give them some words of endearment, then they're gonna be okay. Dropped the car back off. Car running kind of raggedy, which I was already prepared. I already knew it. I took that vehicle, drove to where he was at. And the first thing he said was, hey, what's going on? Yeah, man, look. Yeah, hey, love you, man. And I beat his ass. Love you, man. Man, I showed him some love. I beat his ass. Right? Lady out there, they screaming, call the police and all this, all in front of Wendy's and whatnot. I didn't give a damn because it was to show him, look, man, don't play with grown people. He didn't call the police because he knew what he was doing. I didn't call the police. I didn't go get a lawyer and try to sue him because he didn't have anything. He didn't call the police after taking that ass whooping. But it was just the fact that I'm showing him in his mind, don't think, well, really what I was doing was, don't think all black people are ignorant. You might can run that game on some, but you can't run it on all. So I'm going to make you think twice about running it on the next brother. Put it like that. So when you come across another black man, you might do some square business. You might be upright in your business dealing. You might, don't give us the shady hand and thinking we so ignorant that we can't see through it and we can't figure it out. That's basically what I was saying. And that's what I did. I'm proud of it. I'm going to let you know, hey man, you can, what they say, you can come at me. Okay, you fooled me once. Okay, that's shame on you. Okay, no problem. You fooled me once. Fooled me twice. Shame on me. But this is the thing. Maybe you suffer from some type of ailment. That's why you seek out to try to fool someone. So maybe you need help. So my duty to humanity is, let me teach this uncivilized. So the second time, we're going to sit down. Look, tell me everything right at this moment. What you need to get the job done, and can you get the job done, and did you do your research? But in their mind, they still thinking, I can pull something over because black men don't know intricate details of how things should be. So, yeah, man, I researched it. This would do it, I promise you. Because in their mind, just give them a song and dance and send them on about the way. And I'm looking him dead in the eyes now, and I'm telling him, dead in his eyes, look, if you don't know what you're doing, right, you working at a mechanic shop, you got the license on your shirt, you're certified, they hired you, you working on other vehicles. We going at your off of your recommendation with the owner. I don't know if you bringing back some of the money, you splitting it with the owner, but on that Jag, you wanted to take your time and make sure and all this big fluff, and we don't need it here at the shop. You know, we got places we'll go, and we'll also come to you and we'll make this happen. And I really want to work on this Jag. Okay, fine. But you really didn't want to work on the Jaguar. You just wanted to hustle me out of some money. So I looked him in the eyes and told him that second time, look, laid all the ground rules down, all the basics, to where I spoke it in its simplest form to where he can understand and where we can understand each other. But he still didn't take me serious. Because in his mind, he thought his knowledge was way up in the stratosphere and I couldn't see what he actually was doing. Because you do have some black people who don't care how they get done, just as long as they got a white friend or they in white company. And that's a sickness though, white people. You gotta realize a person like that is actually sick. That's a sick, mixed up individual. Don't judge all black people off that sick person who just want white friends. Or who see white people as God. Because that's creating a false image, or that's idol worship. And on the white side, don't fall into the blacks who idol worship white people, because that's a setup too. So anyway, look him in his eyes. Lied to me again. Then tried to cover up the lie with some words of endearment. Love you, man. Man, it's like I beat his ass. For the simple fact that don't come at another man purposely with deceit. And then don't let them deceive you because you are so enamored, pardon me, with the fact that this is a white person. That's all you see. Because white people, you do have some black people that like to parade y'all around, take them to their black family and say, look, I got a white friend. I've arrived. I've made it. Just like in the underground. Little black boy, little white boy. They were so happy that they were friends until the white boy had to treat him like a slave. Or until the young black boy realized when he told him, I own all this. I even own you. You know, till that reality kicks in. And I'm not talking about, and you gotta understand, poor white people, like I said, you just a buffer. You a flag carrier for the system. They need you to keep racism going so they can justify the money that they need to spend, which they get a cut off that money for their family, because they're gonna say, hey, you see the rednecks? Like the guy said, the family from one of the Navy SEALs that was killed in Benghazi. He said, I'm a redneck. And Donald Trump speaks to us. You idiot, you a used neck. You don't have enough money, Trump wouldn't even let you on the golf course. You couldn't even come to the country club. What the hell you trying to fool? Oh, you trying to kid. You think that in your mindset, you can go down to, what's one of them stores, man? One of those second-rate retail shops. Get you a $50 suit. Put your wife in a $40 dress. Come on stage and try to convince the American people that you got class, that you rubbing elbows with the Trumps and the Clintons. We don't. Those days are gone. Don't nobody buys that. So now you wonder why Trump is saying, in the black areas where they visit Detroit, Philadelphia, parts of Chicago, where they say and it is true, where the poverty is poverty. I mean, they live in like third world country. You wonder why they just focusing on that part of black America? And then you got, say, Hillary will talk about the middle class blacks. Because that's that same old fight. That's another tennis ball on the table where they finna bounce you back and forth. What that's all about is that's creating division between blacks that's in poverty and the impoverished blacks in the middle class, to try to say that there's a difference. The only difference between impoverished blacks and the black middle class is the amount of knowledge you have or the amount of books you read. Anybody that's impoverished, can read a book on the stock market. If you know how to read, you can change your condition. Any black that's impoverished who understands money. That's why I'll have a friend of mine who understands money, Ron Charles. We'll have him on the show to talk about real estate gentrification and savings and whatnot, because he picked up a book and that was his passion. You have a passion, pick the book up, learn about it, learn marketing, and go out and make it happen. Go out and live your desire. That's the only difference. Ain't nobody give nobody nothing ain't nobody gave nobody black nothing in this country. Ain't nobody came and said even welfare is not a gift. They ain't giving you nothing free in this country for black people. So don't let them create a division between the black middle class and the blacks that are impoverished, because that's the scenario they putting out to say to stay away, because they make money off impoverished blacks. You the black gold. You think the singers and the actors or entertainers are the black gold, which is true, because they use their mind to steal the style and put the style back out and put a white face on it. They've been doing that since Little Richard. That ain't nothing new. But don't let them divide you. The impoverished blacks who that they seek out and say, and the impoverished whites that's in the trailer park, you all are the money stipend for the 1%. They gotta do they money launder. They launder money through you. They gotta justify so and so, because they say based on this percentage or this amount of the population is on this type of government aid, then we need to put this here and kick back this and provide this, and my company need to build this to get the money from the taxpayers to take care of these citizens who are impoverished. Then they come on and say, well, poverty is a mental disease. They try to say that if you are impoverished, then you actually suffering from some type of mental disorder. Then that goes back to what, then if they suffer from some type of mental disorder, that's only due to the regurgitation of slavery that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. That goes to the fact that we wasn't set up with a skill set to go and counter 400 years of slavery. So when you said black people are free, they didn't close the door and push you out with no skills. Now you are wondering or you left wandering in the wilderness trying to figure this freedom thing out, or how to survive in this system that you was locked out the system. Why they created the system and locked you out, then threw you in the system and said, okay, survive. Okay, well, how does bacon work? How does your form of trade work? Okay, who do you talk to? Okay, what's the percentage interest rate on the money? Wasn't any of that broke down. It's just go out and do for yourself. After 400 years of making us rich. And we're not going to give you a dime to help you along the way. That's what that's all about. So what I'm basically saying is, if we want to make this country great and whole, stop playing black people like tennis. Stop one on one side, hit it back on the other side. That way nobody can really, you can never really pinpoint the perpetrator, so you can take your actions at the perpetrator and take it to court. They'll say, well, no, it's in the ball in your court. No, the ball is in your court. No, the ball in your court. The ball in your court. Well, they this way because of this. No, they this way because of that. Well, I got to do this. Well, now I got to do that. Stop playing the game. We're going to keep giving you information from a different point of view, a different perspective. And it's all dedicated to heal, to bring peace. Might have a little enjoyment, a little laughter. But the fact of the matter is, peace, which is Islam, which means peace, which has been spoken for centuries, but the action and to carry out that brand of peace, not a terrorist act to where you trying to bring peace through violence or an act of terror. That doesn't bring peace. That brings more terror. So we're not about that. We're about bringing peace as man brings peace by words. Because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word became flesh. And it's simple, and it stops right there. Verbal Pick Radio. It's Cold Black. Go to cdbaby.com/COLBLAC. Get some of the music. Purchase the book Consequence by Vince Cole Muhammad. VinceColeMuhammad. And we out.